Hey guys, last show of the year, huh?
Last show of the decade.
That's a decade. That's right.
Sounds even more final.
I know.
Well, Dan, I expect to see you in a Roaring's 20 outfit next week, Dan.
Okay. Yeah.
You got the hat.
Sorry.
Got the private eye look going.
Of a thing.
I started the show about a minute and a half early because my wife chatted me and I hit the button to get rid of her and I hit the stop button by mistake.
To get rid of her. That's always a good thing for her to hear, right?
That's okay. She doesn't watch the show. I'm safe.
Then you hear a voice from the other room. I'm hearing that.
No, I wouldn't even get that much warning. All right. Well, we're going to start off with, guys, is I'm going to just give a little update on where we're at with everything. I'm going to kind of remove you guys simply because I'm going to show. This doesn't work that well either, does it? I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, guys, you're all back. Let's see. Why doesn't it do that? I don't know. Okay, there we go. Let's see how well this works. All right, guys, let me give you an update on where we are and what we're doing. Okay. First of all, I want to thank everybody for another phenomenal year. We beat all of our numbers from last year, which was very nice and helpful. The products, the Kickstarters, Space Infantry, the ammo crates, World at War 85, they are in Ohio. They are going on a truck supposedly tomorrow and will be down to us. They're saying no earlier than Thursday because we can't take delivery on Wednesday because it's New Year's Day. And I doubt they're going to get here on New Year's Eve. So it's going to look like Thursday or Friday. So it'll be right away. We have our extra helpers and workers all set to go. As soon as we get the games, we're going to be breaking everything out, getting the packages together. For all those who don't know, okay, all the Kickstarter's games will go out first. That's the company's policy. They get it first, minus the designer copies and any review copies that are there. And so that's that. Now, just because it's been questioned before, here's a look at some. Why does it not show up? There it is. There is the games in Ohio, waiting for the truck to pick them up tomorrow. And it's 3 of literally there's over 4 containers worth of games. Okay. So, and if you really want to zoom into some of these pictures, you'll see it says World at War expansion, whatever else. And here is another picture showing some different games in different rows. Okay, so that's pretty much where we're at with the game. Now, the ship going to the UK/EU. It goes to Antwerp from the best that I can figure out right now. And I guess what has happened is they're taking it off in Antwerp, put it on a truck, and then driving it to Second Chance Games. Okay, now I have asked for clarification just to make sure because I've never told any of this information ahead of time. But I won't get that earliest will be tomorrow. And if I do, I will post it, on the Facebook groups and on the Kickstarter pages and wherever else you guys have been seeing me post. Some questions on clarifications on that thing. There is a lock and load, a World at War 85 Storming the Gap monster map. Okay. Here's a picture of it, guys. I inadvertently, my buddy Blackwell gave me the wrong figures, the numbers, and it was not 28.5 by 53, but 38.5 by 53. There's this map you do not need to buy. And let me explain this again. It's 8 maps that are included in the Kickstarter. Okay? They're part of the game. So you do not have to buy it. This was a request by many gamers. We've sold over close to almost 60 of them now, maybe a little bit more. Okay. It's basically the 8 maps put together as one piece. It's put on canvas. It's durable. Okay, I wouldn't try lighting it on fire or anything, but you know, a slight spill of liquid on it shouldn't affect it. I had some pictures. If you look on our store at the map, you'll see that there's some pictures with the counters on it, 1 or 2. But again, if you want it, it's very limited quantity. Once it's out, I'm going to stop selling it, okay, because I have to have these made special. And so the deal I made with the guy is to have a limited amount of orders. Once it's in and it's done, okay? So those should be shipping too. It will not go with the Kickstarter or any orders. It's orders by himself. You cannot get this right now from Second Chance Games. If you're a UK or EU customer, you can only get it from us. But if you look at the store page, you will see that the shipping is included in the order. So it's not like it's this plus another $80 in shipping. We got some really good shipping rates down for this. Okay. What else I have for you guys?
David,
Okay.
is that the same size map that I stole from you at WBC?
I'm gonna say it's got to be extremely close because obviously we played on it. I know Blackwell did some stuff and they trimmed it a little bit. Like I know there's no border around this map. It's
right.
really map corner to corner. I think yours has a border, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it's for sale for $1,000.
That's fine. 10% commission, buddy. Remember the rule.
You got it.
Okay. Now, some other things popped up. Starter kits. There's now a Lock and Load Tactical starter kit, which there always was, but there's also a Nations at War, and there is also a World at War. If you bought the Kickstarter, if you bought any of the other games, you do not need the starter kit. Okay, there's nothing in there that you're going to gain by buying it. It is for those who aren't 100% sure they want to play World at War 85 or it's worth the money or anything else. Those people can get those. Now, the big change, there's 2 big changes in the starter kits. 2 of them are new. You've never had them before. And the other part of it is that they now come with actual printed counters, not laser cut counters, no stickies, anything like that. You can make your own counters, okay, if you want to, by simply downloading the rules. They're in the starter kit is included in all of the core rules, okay? So you don't have to, you don't have to buy anything if you want to try out the system. That's the whole beauty of what we're doing, okay? But
should probably point out that there is a starter kit for the Vassal as well. So if Vassal is your thing and you want to try it on the actual without purchasing it beforehand, there is a starter kit Vassal available.
Yes, there is a starter kit Vassal, but you're still going to want to download it because it gives you the orders of battle, what force you should get, what the scenario is. But yes, and Dev, remind me later to talk about something with Vassal that I want to bring up, but I don't forget. Okay, so anyway, going back to the starter kits, the other big change is the old starter kits had the older rules in it. We've done away with providing the rules in the starter kit. It's the counters, the maps, and player raids, and some of them have player raids, some of them don't, because there are 3 different ones now. The reason is because we've made the rule book, completely as obtainable as anything humanly possible I can think of doing. Anyway, so included on the starter kit, you'll get links to download it in a PDF. You can get links to download it in EPUB. There's an MP3. There's an audiobook edition as well. I will provide those as we go through all this a little bit more in detail in a minute. Well, I guess I can do part of this now. Okay, so the other question that's been asked a lot is, what is this replacement counter? So let me start with the Lock and Load Tactical one. And any of you guys have a question on my team you want to ask, just jump in there. This is the cover for the replacement counters, okay? It's a little envelope of counters. Well, this one is a little bit bigger for Lock and Load Tactical, okay? And what we did was there was some relatively minor counter errors. Literally, it's 4 rows of counters. You can see it there. Some were not necessarily errors. Some were errors, of course. If you see there's a JU-52, it wasn't an error. The scenario said to use an American glider. We had a spot. We stuck it on there. Another thing in Heroes of Normandy was the Luftwaffe forces were in the game, but there were no support weapons, or that gun crew was missing, and the rules told you use the SS. The rules still tell you that. We just put it in there. Other things are, mistakes we made. The back of the, I believe the back of the Japanese leaders were missing something that says shaken, I believe, on the back of them. I'm not sure. I don't remember, actually. But anyway, they're just different counters. Now, do you need to buy these? My personal opinion is no. Okay, and the reason you don't is we've provided it's called the LnLT for Lock and Load Tactical Clarifications and Corrections. All these counters are already in that document. You can download it for free. It's in our resource section. That is the link to it. And you can literally print it out and stick it on the back of your counter or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so you don't have to buy these. They are limited. Once they're out, they're out. I'm not going to promise you I'm going to reprint them again. This was just something, we decided to provide because we're ordering so much stuff from China at this point. Okay, so does anybody have any questions?
Well, I just have an observation.
Always you with the questions, man. Oh, go on.
And because I'm just curious. So in all the lock and load tactical games, there's only 4 rows of counters of errors.
Well, remember, a lot of the errors we corrected when we reprinted the games. Okay. Now, due to our special skill set, we did make some new ones. Okay. Bring this back up. I do know that there originally were no errors in one of the Heroes of Normandy modules. It was the bulge one. What is that one called? It's got a winter map. I can't think of the name of it, guys. But when we put the counters together, what is it?
Talking about Noville or Bastogne?
Noville, yeah, Bastogne, Noville. That was it, yeah. That one, when we were making all the new counters to get everything to fit, we screwed up and put the wrong numbers or the wrong backs on a few of those infantry. Okay. Some of the other things were like from Heroes Against the Red Star. I believe those were errors that we missed correcting them. They were already there, and it got past us. I do know on one of the Libya ones, we put the backs crisscrossed. Back one should have been on the back of the other one, and the other one should have been, and we crossed it over. So again, they're all here, but you don't need to buy them. Okay, so the next thing is, in order to get these counters, all the nations at war, which I'll get to in a second, okay, just go to the store. We're not charging a fee for the counters. We're charging the handling fee of the warehouse charges and the shipping. The shipping is extremely cheap because literally they're going to be put in an envelope and mailed. Okay, you can buy if you only have one game. Well, the Lock and Load Tactical is all in one, so that's all there is. But Nations at War, we broke it down. Let me give you guys a little show here of the Nations at War stuff. Okay, it's not one sheet. Okay, it's broken into 4 parts. I put it together so you guys can see these here. So White Star Horizons on the top, Desert Heat, Stalin's Triumph, and even the Compendium. Okay, now you notice that some of the counters have a white box around them. Okay, I hate wasting space. It's that simple. So these were stuff that got past Sean and I when we were doing this. More Sean than me. Okay, but what Sean did, which I thought was great, was I asked him to add some units on the blank spaces. So that's what the white boxes are. They're actually units that are not available in the game. Okay, they were never in the game. We made these units up, and then Sean made a scenario for each one. Okay, so they actually get to be used.
So this one's going to have the M1A1 and
yeah, it's going to be our version of the carrier going back in time.
Exactly.
Okay, so anyway, that's how the counter broke down. So you can buy 4 of them, you can buy 2 of them, you can buy 3 of them. Now, as many of you know, we have made upgrade kits for each one of the games. So now 3rd edition, okay, they're coming in the truck as well. Any games that ship from the Kickstarter or you ordered in the last, let's just say, I don't know, 30 days, 40 days, whatever it might have been, will automatically have, will be 3rd edition. What is 3rd edition? 3rd edition is this simple. You're going to get the right counters already. So if you had got the upgrade kit for White Star Rising, you're going to get the counters. So you do not need to buy the counters separately. Why do we provide the counters separately? There's a lot of people who have been playing and updating the manual or got, bought play rate cards or bought the new book. I didn't want them having to buy the whole thing again. That's not fair to them. Okay, so they could just buy for whatever it is, $2, the actual counters they needed for if they only had White Star Rising, that's all they need to get. If you didn't upgrade anything, you bought the game a year ago and you've been playing it, the upgrade kit will give you the counters, like I said. It'll also give you the updated scenario book. It'll correct any mistakes that are in there. It also lists, I believe, the counters that were replaced, so you would know or were adjusted. It also corrected anything with the scenarios we found, or we made some adjustments, improvements based on feedback. We're always trying to improve the games for you. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the new core rules. They are not spiral bound. If you bought the rules, 3.0 rules for Nations at War, it's the same rules. You do not need to buy this, okay? But there's a whole kit for it. And then last but not least are the player rates. Again, if you bought the player rates separately, you don't need to, hold on, Sean. You don't need to go buy them again, okay? We put into one package, so when you buy the game, all the new stuff's already going to be in the 3rd edition. If you already bought the 2nd edition, last year this time, you can just buy the upgrade kit and you'll have all the parts. You won't need to get anything else. There'll be nothing else to get. And by the way, the new scenario is in the new modules. So you'll have the White Star Rising new scenario, Desert Heat, and the what's what I'm looking for? Stalin's Triumph. The compendium one, okay, as of right now, we're just going to probably put it online as a free download because it just was easier, because there's really nothing wrong with the compendium at all besides a few of the counters. Oh, big thing I forgot to tell you, the new activation, new formation cards that we've been making. You guys familiar with that? Okay. Those formation cards are also included in the upgrade kit. Okay. Any questions?
What's the price point on each one of those for people who are interested in it?
It's $14.99, $15 basically.
For each kit or for all of them together?
Each kit.
Okay.
There is no altogether because there's no way for me to know if you have 2 games, 3 games, so it's each kit. All right. Let's see. If there's any other questions here?
David,
Okay,
I saw on Facebook.
What?
I saw on Facebook some guy put up a picture of the Lock and Load 5.0 rule book hardbound.
You kind of jumped in a little quick on that, but let me just say,
quick, isn't he?
Ron, okay, who's been married, I think he said 25 years. I forget exactly. Let me see if I have the picture here. I think I didn't upload that. Okay. Ron,
He's in the chat.
let me just see if I have it here.
Go ahead, Ron. Speak up. You're in the chat.
Okay. Anyway, we wanted to wish Ron a happy anniversary. We also want to give him extra points, guys. He rolled Snake Eyes. I assume that's good for a game because he's got a wife that buys him war game stuff.
There you go. It's always a win.
It's always a win. Actually, here it is. I got the picture for you guys. Take off the banner. Hold on.
Looks very good.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had one here, but I think I gave it away. Oh, no, I do have it. Look at that, guys. All right. All right, here's my copy. Okay. And it's the same rulebook, guys. There's no different other than it's hard copied. Hardcover, sorry, not hard copy. Hardcovered, okay, and it's the same rules. Now, something else that has been going on. Last night I finished this. It took me all day yesterday.
You learned how to spell his name finally.
Yes.
So you can write it on the side of the book, right?
Yeah, well, I had to talk to people about that. The other change is the rule books. Now, it's not just Lock and Load Tactical. It's also World at War 85, and it's also Nations at War. They're now available as a download. This is all free. They're all downloadable. The only exception is if you want a hardcover, you're going to have to buy it. If you want a Spyro-bound rulebook, you have to buy it. And if you want Audible, you're going to have to buy it because it's different services. Okay. Just look what I have here. Okay. All the different rule sets, okay, whether it's MP3s, audiobooks, PDFs, EPUBs, all of them can be found at that link below, guys. So if you're watching this and you want to get the MP3 version, you want to get an EPUB version, any of that stuff for any of the rules I just mentioned. So it's Lock and Load Tactical, core rules, Nations at War core rules, or World at War 85 core rules. They're all available to download in any of the formats listed there. Now, the Audible may not be for everything yet. I know that I'm waiting for them to approve it, but it's already been done and placed in there. And we will be doing this for Space Infantry once the audiobook is complete, which is not going to be before the 12th of January. So it'll be a little bit of time, guys, before you see that one, but it is coming as well. Okay. And this goes back to our basic motto, play the game, not the rules. Okay. We, people ask, you made an audiobook, and the answer is yes, we made an audiobook to try it out. I mean, we don't know if it's a good idea or not. Some people have told me they didn't like it. I mean, decent amount, but we have just so much people say, hey, it's great to, put it in the car and listen to it on a train or on a bus or driving to work just to go over a certain rule section you may not be familiar with. So it's really the motto of play the game, not the rules. We don't want you sitting there messing around with the rules. I mean, obviously there's a learning curve when you're starting the game, but once you get playing, if you're spending 3 hours playing the game, if you get that much free time, you don't want to spend an hour of it looking in the rules. Okay. And so that's why we broke the rules up to all the scenario rules, all the special rules for a module. Be it Heroes of Normandy or Heroes of North Africa, it's all in that module rulebook. You don't have to go hunting for it. Okay. And don't forget too, we also have all the training videos, okay, which you can also find through that link for the resources that I showed you before. I'll put it up again as soon as I find it. There it is. Okay. So there's links to the bootcamp videos by Nate, or as everyone knows him, Gimpy Gamer. So you'll be able to literally just click on that and you can see that you get a whole list of all the videos. So the object is so you can read it in the book. You can listen to the audio book, which is, someone just reading the book to you, but you can also look at the videos and watch it. None of those videos should be more than 3 or 4 minutes. I think there's 1 or 2 exceptions, but we wanted them to be short, little, look at the rules, he explained it to you, and you're moving on.
So I can go on the website right now and download the rules to Lock and Load Tactical MP3.
Yes, you can.
Well, that's very nice.
I thought so.
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, Corey, I love Corey there. He says he loves to listen on the commute to work. So, hey, Corey, do us a favor. Check it out. Let us know what you think about it. Okay, because I do want to get some feedback. It's not a cheap process. The 2 recordings for Nations at War and World at War 85, I'm not thrilled with how it came out, but it's an experiment. Okay, so let's just go with that.
Corey was also asking earlier about. I think he missed the start of the show when the games were going to be shipping in the U.S.
Yeah,
They all sank. You didn't tell them? Come on.
I hate being the bearer of bad news.
No. The U.S. games. Okay, I see Corey there. Corey, you asked about the U.S. The U.S. games are already through customs. They're in a warehouse in Ohio. They're being put on trucks tomorrow and driven down to Pueblo, Colorado. They're due to be here no earlier than Thursday. Should be by the end of the week, Friday at the latest. Again, that's subject to weather and whatever else goes on. I had some people question me, like, why did we, go to Washington State, go to the port, and ship them all the way to Cleveland to ship them back to Pueblo? Let me explain this to you, okay?
Customs.
The word logistics never stands for making sense, okay? Why we did that was when we got to Tacoma, Washington. As many of you know, Devin ran out there and took pictures of our ship. Okay. You couldn't get past the electric fence. Next time we'll be a little bit more prepared.
I'll just make sure I have my rubber underwear on next time I make a sojourn out there.
There you go. And then what happened was they were telling us 3 to 4 weeks to go through customs because everybody was trying to get in before the under the line of the December 15th proposed tariff date. Okay, so we basically threw it on another train, which still took it. Was it over a week? Was it
2 weeks?
Yeah, it
2
took
weeks.
2 weeks to get it on the train. Okay, because again, we weren't the only people doing this, and then get it all the way down to Ohio. Okay, and then it literally went through customs in a day. I mean, it was in and out. I think it got into the warehouse the same day. We also give a little round of applause and thank you to Kara over at Academy Games in Uve. She went down to the warehouse and really checked out stuff. She's actually the one that provided those pictures for us, gentlemen. And we navigated very nicely thanks to her help. So I think a little round of applause to her goes out there, guys, right? Okay, and we're going to be, we're going to be making this a little bit more of a regular thing because it worked very well for both of us, and it was just great. Okay, Magnet, okay, that's his name. He wants to have King come down. Well, I'm going to say this, okay. Now, Darren's not here, and I don't know if Darren's watching because I'm not getting any FUs up on my text messaging. Okay. But if you are close to Pueblo, Colorado, okay, and you want to come down, okay, but you have to take a picture with Darren holding the box. Okay, guys. We'll make a day or a time that we can all be there to hand you your games. Okay. If it gets too many people, we'll have to cut it off because, we can't have too many people doing. But if it's a few people, we love to meet you. Actually, love to show you around. Love to show you the games. Love to hear your great praise. No complaints. If you come down, you can't complain. Okay, guys. Okay, Ron's saying road trip. All right, Ron.
There you go.
Okay, so that's what we probably can do with that. Now, we have anything else? Oh, someone asked me about this. Guys, Oh, wrong thing. Sorry, that one. If you want to know what scenarios, how many scenarios, what maps are provided, we do have an LnLT Scenario and Map Guide. That is the link for it. Okay, again, it's all under that resource area. Once you get to that resource area, you can select the game series you want, Lock and Load Tactical, Nations at War, World War 45, or any other game for that matter. And all the resources that we've provided are there. And you can download them. There's no charge for any of those resources. Okay, but it will show you all the maps. It has little pictures inside of all the maps that are provided in the game, as well as what scenarios are there. It does not have a description of what all the scenarios are about, because the thing would be 80 pages long. I do know we might do that later on, but it's not on my top 10 to-do list, which is pretty big as it is. Okay, let's see. We have any more. Ron's wife says we can keep him. It's okay, Ron. You got the book. That's all that matters right now. Okay, games in the UK. Okay, here's what's going on with the games in the UK, guys. It is rounding Spain, heading up the coast of France on the Atlantic side. It is scheduled to stop at Antwerp. That is the last update I have. I can track the container. I cannot necessarily track the ship. The ship's a little elusive for some reason. And if from there, it's supposed to go to Poland. Our games are not going to Poland. At least that's not anything I've been told. So what I expect is going to happen is the games will get to Antwerp. They'll come off. And I did notice that there's a trucking notice, but it doesn't give me any real details. I wasn't even sure if it meant truck in the true sense of the word. But it's supposed to then, it looks like being driven from Antwerp into England to Second Chance Games. Okay, and I know Second Chance Games, the second they have a moment, they're going to take those games, box them up, and they'll be going out immediately. Okay? Anyone else got any questions about that, guys? Hey.
Do we have an idea when the container's hitting Antwerp?
It's supposed to hit Antwerp tomorrow. Okay? So that doesn't mean it'll get taken off tomorrow, but it's supposed to be in Liverpool or / Second Chance Games, because again, it's not clear. Okay. And the guys, just the shipping company's been great as far as helping us and getting across and making sure we got as fast as we could. But once it's on the ship, or if it gets on the ship, they have to be updated by their crew in the ground or our crew in the ground, and then they can tell me. So it's not that they're not giving me information. It's just a matter of, getting the information when it's there. Right now, it says it's going to be in / England or / Second Chance Games on the 8th of January. Okay. So tomorrow it's Antwerp. By the 8th of January, it's supposed to be one of those two spots. Again, I've already asked for clarification on it, but that's the best I have right now. I don't know if I answered this or not. Hey, Dave is asking, when can you place an order for your replacement counters? You can place them right now. Everything that we're getting is already live. There's no exception that I'm aware of to that. So if you want a replacement counters, you want an upgrade kit, there are orders being placed. There are limited amounts of these, once again, okay? But they are being placed. Nothing is scheduled to ship, and obviously until the stuff arrives. So a lot of people have put in help support tickets asking me, hey, it didn't ship yet, and it's supposed to be here. On all the products I placed that wouldn't be shipping before the end of December, it might even be the first week of January, but right now, that's why nothing is shipped, guys, because it's not there yet. We're doing it to get our boxes. We actually took your orders, put the labels in the boxes, put the package slip inside, so when the games come, literally, the team can just say, give me that, give me that, give me that, put it in the box, tape it, and it's lined up. Okay? All right. Let me just see what else I have here, guys. Okay. So if you haven't ordered for some reason, guys, you can still get your pre-orders in for Space Infantry. And people asking, hey, I want to get all the stretch goals. with the exception of any add-ons such as a coffee mug, all the stretch goals and the with the exception of the coffee mug and player mats. Okay, if you buy the game and the expansion pack, you're getting everything. Again, exception would be, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's you're not getting the book, you're not getting the player mat,
the dice,
and there's no dice. Some bad news here, guys. The dice that we got, I've rejected. I don't know if I have any of the bad dice here. I don't know if I do or don't. Let me just see. I had pictures of it. I'll have to find it. I don't know if you can really see this with the camera or not. They changed the process of making these things without notifying us or the company that makes it, which is Gravity Dice. So they threw wax inside, and it looks like someone took the drill and drilled way too far down. So I rejected all the dice. Okay, they are replacing them. They probably will not ship with the games. They'll probably ship a little bit later. Won't cost anybody any extra money, but I want it to be perfect. And
you put wax in them. They filled
I'm
the pips.
not sure if it's wax. I forget exactly what you told me. And like I said, I had pictures. As soon as I got them, Darren and I checked them. All the other numbers, and again, it's a little hard to see with it. These are different colored ones we got as samples for other things we're doing. The numbers look normal, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. The ones, and these are not the ones that are malfunction, but I'm trying to go. There we go. These are fine. Okay. I don't believe I have. I think this one might be defective one, but we sent them all back already. Can you see that's a little bit deeper in there or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks a little odder.
Yeah. So I just told them, it looks defective to me. Hence, I know that you guys are going to think they're defective, and you know what? I just don't want to deal with that. Okay. So the Gravity dice, they are out of stock. I'm not ordering any more. They will be a little bit later. I almost forgot totally about that. But again, you can ask questions, open up support ticket. But as soon as I know they're coming, we'll post it. All right. Anything else, guys? Any other questions?
Earl was asking about tracking information when after they're shipped out from the company.
Yeah, everything. I believe the majority of the products, Earl, are going to be shipping FedEx, actually, at least from here. Okay, so they should be tracking, and whenever a package is made, okay, on an order, you should get an email sent to you from the system. Corey's asking, yeah, the one is technically deeper, Corey, you are correct, but these were a lot deeper. I mean, it looked effective to me. It looked like someone took and drilled like double the depth it should have been. Okay. They claimed it was still 100% balanced, but you know what? I said to them that, hey, you didn't tell me about the change. You gave me no chance to say yes, no. And if your manufacturer did that, beknownst to you, that's wrong. You can't change after an order is placed unless we approve it. I didn't like it. It didn't look right to me. And, they're redoing 100,000 dice. So my guess is they know it doesn't look right either. And the manufacturer's changing it. So I guess he realizes they, did something they shouldn't have done as well. But Lori from Gravity Dice has been really great to work with. I know she's very upset over this. And, like I said, we'll get those out to you as soon as they are back in our hands. We do not yet have an ETA on it, although I don't expect it will be too long.
Anybody else have the problem that you noticed that has received those dice? Anybody else make?
Well, no one's received them.
Okay, so just for lock and load.
It's just. Well, I think I got mine right away. I think I was the first to get them. Actually, I'm pretty darn sure I was the first to get them. When we got them, Darren and I went through them. I took a few. I think one case was something was a little screwy, one case. And then I was going through all the dice, and as I'm playing with the dice in the desk, I'm looking at them and saying, these look different. And then I looked at the ones I've already purchased for other things and said, hey, these are not the same. Then I told Darren to look at them. Darren took all the dice from the warehouse home and him and his wife put them out on the table and went through each one, and all of them were like that. And when we compared them to the ones that we had, they weren't even close, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
And since, I mean, we put a lot of pictures up, it means you can, I know I have pictures somewhere. I'll find the pictures and I will post them at some point.
That's why it's important to do your QC, QA when you receive something in, because you can't just assume that it's going to be good based on the manufacturer, because everybody has mistakes.
Yes. Well, like I said, we've been trying to go through all this stuff pretty darn, each step. I mean, Maurice, I don't think you've got your review copy yet, but I know Devin did. And, I gave Devin my copy, so I had all my notes in there. I didn't know Devin was going to open it up and show everyone that. So sorry, guys. I left it in there I forgot to take the Post-it notes off on it.
And it was my mistake for not previewing the box before I opened it up, which I should have. So,
yeah. So, and so it was just, I had an extra copy. I know my copy would get here, and I would, another copy would get here. So I sent it to Devin. But anyway, that's pretty much there. The thing I wanted to point out, which is in our resource area, I don't have the link right now, is a gentleman. I don't know his name. I'm going to see if I can grab it as I'm talking to you guys. He made, as much as everyone loves Vassal is not necessarily always the easiest thing to use. And this gentleman, which I'm going to grab his video right now, he made a really great video.
Stigler?
Yeah.
Stigler, yeah.
Alan, yeah, he did a great job with that. It's a good primer on how to use Vassal for those who have never used it and not familiar with it. It really walks you through all the steps on, everything from your Java install all the way through to the installation of the application, loading the module up and playing.
Okay, I'm going to add this banner in here. Hold on.
Are you trying to figure out his name?
No. I'm putting up the link. I forgot to put that on.
Because he's a stickler for the details.
That's right.
I love that. I was talking to him the other night. I was like, dude, I love that. That's greatness. Okay. There you go, guys. Okay, so we have a starter kit on Vassal right now for Lock and Load Tactical and for World at War 85. Okay, so you could technically play the Vassal kit, but if you have any questions on how Vassal works or how do you load things, or how do you get things, this video by this, what is his name again?
Stigler.
Okay, is really, I thought, was excellent. And I don't know him personally, but really more than 2 thumbs up. This was a really nice video.
Yeah, it's a great, like I said, if you've never played Vassal before or you're not familiar with it, not that familiar with it, you kind of toyed around with it. It's a great resource.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. All right, guys. Does anyone have any other questions for us?
Last call.
Okay.
Type faster. I can't believe Dan hasn't said anything.
I'm a little bit under the weather, man.
Oh, that's why you're quiet tonight. That explains it right there.
I thought we were low on the wine.
No, man. No, I mean I'd be running around naked right now, but
wow.
Well, I just want to say we appreciate that.
Thankful for small favors.
No pun intended.
I wasn't going to say that, but I did leave that softball out there for somebody to knock out of the park.
Looks like Ron is asking if Space Infantry is going to be brought to digital and get the digital treatment just as Lock and Load Tactical has received.
I don't know, guys. Okay, I'm going to say it really depends on sales, how much we have. As far as the computer games go, Philip Devine is working on the Nations at War. It's actually really done. We are now setting it up on Steam. We're going to give some people some keys, let them play it, see how that works out. Lock and Load tactical fantasy game. Do you mean the sci-fi, Kurt, or do you mean a real fantasy version?
No, he means a real fantasy version. There's been some very quiet murmurings for people wanting a fantasy version once the Lock and Load Tactical Space Infantry was announced. So,
Heroes of the Ring. Do you know how much out of my comfort zone is that we made a sci-fi version? There isn't even a comfort zone for the fantasy version. Okay.
I remember talking to you about that a while back, saying, "Why don't we do like a Lock and Load Tactical in this Space Infantry thing?" You're like, "No." Well, look at what's happening.
Yeah, I'm just not into it. I mean, if I have someone who really wants to do it, but you know what, it took a lot out of us to get the Space Infantry and the World at War and the ammo crates and all these upgrade kits and all the counters and all that. All took all that time. We really haven't progressed far enough or fast enough, as far as I'm concerned, with the Lock and Load Tactical. And I do expect more modules to come out this year. I actually need to talk to Jeff Lewis. It's been my fault because of everything else I've been handling, but to see where we're gonna go with. I know he's pretty much, I'm sure he's probably done or very close to done. Heroes of Grenada, which, you know, I've heard people, it was only a couple of days worth of fighting. There was some pretty fierce firefights there. We read some books on it. And Ralph Ferrari designed this a long time ago, and it was just never run with it for whatever reason before I even had bought the company. So now, you know, barring any changes, this should be going out the door. And what I really love Jeff to do next, if we can come to terms, is to have him do Heroes of Fallujah.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while.
Well, he had to finish the other one. And remember, he got hurt, too. He was hurt pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, all right.
If anybody here in the audience has any comments or suggestions on a Heroes of game you'd like to see, aside from fantasy, because, I mean, Heroes of the Ring would be a great thing, but I think the IP itself would be a little pricey. So, and if not, it would probably we'd get sued on it or something like that if we did something that was kind of
I'm sure we can get Heroes of Willow. I mean, I'm sure that will be. Hey guys, I'm going to post online right now the link that if you click on it and you have a camera and a mic that works, you can jump in and be live with us. We have a few rules. Got to have clothes on. Okay, Dan. Okay, and remember there's kids and people watching, so, you know, keep it clean, the language. But you can ask us, you know, if you have any particular questions, you want to interview Mo. Right? Find out why Mo has those weird baseball caps all the time. This is a chance you can go.
Or hockey hats, actually.
Oh, hockey hats. So, right. So yeah. They're not even really baseball hats.
Nope. It's a real game.
Oh, brother. Baseball's a real game, buddy. Oh, I know what it is.
For taking a nap.
This is my shirt. We have that little shirt thing. This is the Christmas Truce for World War I t-shirt. And Dan was supposed to have some stunning t-shirt. What do you got, Dan?
No, put it away.
Okay. I know. How are you doing, buddy? Okay, you can't die, Dan. It will not bring the ratings up.
If it was live, it might, but
okay, Dan. Let's see what you got here.
My No Enemies Here t-shirt. What's the matter with you guys?
Okay.
Come on.
You need
nice
a logo, buddy.
Yeah.
You need like a target. No enemies here. See?
There's a flash through it.
Okay. What about you, Deb? What do you got on? Keep calm and let Devin. I'm all for that t-shirt. All right, Maurice, your last one. What you got?
Mine's my Allen Americans t-shirt from when we won our back-to-back championships in the ECHL a couple of years ago.
Oh, so, okay. Well, that's a hockey show. We'll let that slide.
Hockey shirt, hockey guy.
Before we bring anybody on, you wanted me to remind you about something with Vassal that you wanted to go
it was
over.
the video we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah, David.
Yes.
Oh, here he goes.
Yeah, better now. My God, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say.
The pressure's on, and he
Walk,
can't
guys.
remember.
Yeah. Heroes of Normandy, Heroes of North Africa, Heroes of my backyard. What about Heroes of Italy?
What about it?
Actually,
Sounds like a good idea.
there are a lot of Italian units in Heroes of North Africa.
No, I know that.
Okay. Well, the Italians weren't doing so good when they got to Italy, buddy.
Come on.
They kind of called it quits.
Like, yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, here's a good opportunity for Dan to design his first Heroes of module.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening, guys.
I don't think it's going to happen, no.
Well, there's your answer. That's why there's no Heroes of Italy.
Oh, man.
Someone's asking for hex encounter with dragons and wizards would be sweet. Okay. Again, guys, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying it isn't going to happen before summer.
well, I mean, here's the thing. If you guys think that's a great idea, and it's not a bad idea if you're into that, come up with something if you can, and propose it to David. And if it's good, you never know.
Someone's asking about Heroes of Italy. I'll tell you the modules that we have toyed with, for lack of a better idea. We're looking at Heroes of the Far East. Okay, nothing's done on it, guys. It's just a little bit more written out than maybe some other ones. And Heroes of the Far East was going to be the Americans in the Philippines in 41, the Japanese troops invading the Philippines, so some Marines and stuff like that. It was also going to cover the Soviets up by Japan and China, Communist China, Nationalist Chinese, the British Special Forces that were there. What were they called?
SAS.
No.
British Special Forces. No.
The were Gurkhas?
Oh, the
No,
Gurkhas.
the Gurkhas,
Those are
yeah.
Indian troops.
Those are
Indian troops. Okay, Indian troops, sorry. And battles that took place there, the Dutch East Indies, stuff like that, kind of round out the Pacific. The goal, again, is to give you a box with, 8-10 counter sheets of all these stuff because, my research at least shows me that you guys are not going to be buying Heroes of the Dragon, which is just the Communist and Nationalist Chinese. Okay? So it's not going to happen. So we want to put them all in one box, give you some scenarios, and then we can make expansion module with maps and scenarios and even some additional counters. But that was it. It would cover Burma Road. It would cover, like I said, everything in that area, including early Australians and the Dutch and everything else. Other things we talked about are, Devon's game. Dev, you want to break in a little bit what that's going to be about?
We're still working on a title for it, but it's basically Case Blue, which was the 1942 German summer offensive that led to the siege of Stalingrad. It led to the furthest point that Germany advanced from Berlin. I think it was like 1,600 kilometers as the crow flies. A lot of fighting. There were 2 full army groups that were committed, tens of thousands of men. A lot of really, really interesting fights that went on. We got some new units that we're going to be introducing. We got the Soviet NKVD troops. We got a couple new vehicles that we haven't seen before. We're at 12 scenarios right now, and my playtest teams are working on tightening them up a little bit. We have one thing that's holding us up right now, and David and I are working on it. So, and then following that, I should probably mention, that's in the conception stage, which it's more than conception stage. Heroes of Pegasus Bridge. This will be a fully historical map. This will be probably, I think it's the first historical module.
Novilla.
Oh, that's right. Novilla. That's right. So this will be the second that you will use an actual historical map and order of battle. I'm also working on a campaign system, semi-campaign system for that. It will have a campaign system. You will be able to play multiple scenarios in order. And basically, it's going to be the fighting around Pegasus Bridge on D-Day.
What about going back to Case Blue, is it going to have any big fighting in Stalingrad? Or do you plan on
No, I'm taking it right up to the point. The very final scenario is the first units. I want to say it was the 10th Armored. I can't remember right off the top of my head that moved into the first suburbs. We've talked about doing Stalingrad as its own
game? Yeah.
And honestly, it deserves its own set. So really, the module will end the day German troops stepped foot into Stalingrad. So there will not really be any of the Stalingrad scenarios in it.
Okay. Well, you may have to talk now.
And then the follow-on will be Heroes of Stalingrad.
Right. Well, maybe that'll be the add-on to Heroes.
No, that would have to be its own.
No, what I've got in mind for Stalingrad needs to be its own box set.
Okay. So the other thing that I know we discussed a little bit more with Jeff was doing a Vietnam new game for Vietnam, and it would be around the
Tet Offensive.
The Tet Offensive, yeah, and around the city, a lot of city fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's asking about Heroes of Sicily. I mean, there's a lot of things we can still do. I mean, we have the Italian campaign, you have the fall of Berlin, you have all kinds of stuff. It's just that nobody has sat down even a little bit and said, here's, we can do these many scenarios, we have these many maps. So until someone does that, and it's more than just some crayons, I don't consider it a plausible thing. Okay, and the guys always read books on these subjects, so they also have to read about it too. Yeah, Kurt's asking right now. I didn't even see this. A full of Berlin. Yeah, it's like Stalingrad. It really is. You got to find a hook. You're going to have kids fighting in Berlin. You have all kinds of things with the Soviet troops, lack of weaponry in Stalingrad. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows who plays war games. The Soviets didn't have enough guns, so what they did was they set up a machine gun, told you to go and grab a rifle from the guy who died before you, and keep going. If you came back, the machine gunned you, so you're going to get shot coming and going, literally. So how much? How? Oh, I think Darren's coming in. Oh, I'm going to get yelled at now, I think.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, let me see if I get Darren in there.
He's coming in your house, or
No, he's coming online. Hold on.
Really? No, Darren's not that technical, is he?
Yeah, you there, buddy? Come online.
Like what happened? Camera fell.
Darren's not that technical, is he?
Yeah, you there, buddy?
I'm here.
Like what happened?
We can't see you. You got an echo going on, buddy. Yeah, you there, buddy?
I'm here.
Like what happened?
Are you watching it on another? Are you watching the YouTube feed too?
Dad, you may need to mute the YouTube feed on the screen so you can't hear the. He just muted me.
He's gonna make some short jokes.
Nah, he says that you're not tall enough to hear them. That's what he told me when I asked before.
So we've got a couple more people saying that it would be great to have
Spanish Civil War.
Spanish Civil War, Heroes of Afghanistan, and
We talked about Afghanistan, guys. Jeff and I did, but we really went with he really wants to do Fallujah. And I think if anyone deserves a shot at doing what he needs, it's got to be Jeff. I mean, Jeff has done so much with that stuff.
there's a lot of things that could be done in modern stuff, which is it's good. Like Corey was saying, he'd like to see more modern. I'd like to see more modern stuff myself, as well as more fictional World War III all the way through. I mean, you can even say when it comes to including modern, you can also do something that we've kind of talked about in passing. We've not really gone, full on it, but like Heroes of Korea, Heroes of the Chosen, things like that, where you could
we talked about Heroes of Korea.
Yeah.
But again, it
was talked about. It wasn't nothing was planned on.
Yeah, we want things that are, and like I said, guys, if there's someone out there who thinks they have a module idea, worked on some modules, honestly, let us know. I mean, won't promise you. I mean, but you don't ask, you don't get. And my personal motto is I don't care then. So you guys, if you want to do something and you want to get together, and it's not just that you're stuck by yourself too. I'm kind of offering up Devin here, but he's just the sacrificial lamb online. But if somebody had some help and just needed some guidance, that's something where Devin or Maurice or myself or Jeff or somebody could help. Say, okay, here's why you can't do this. You can't have 45 infantry because the game only has 23. Stuff like that. We can guide you a little bit.
I think there's still a module for Heroes of the Knobs, Heroes of Way.
Yeah,
that would be fun. Big giant map would be kind of like Day of Heroes. You could use a giant map like that and just kind of break down the battle in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure if we do a Stalingrad or Fallujah, like I said, I know Fallujah is going to be, some of it was going to be, square hexes and some of it was going to be hexagons based upon where you were fighting. But the goal was to make sure.
Well, anything in an urban environment really does need to be squares. Same
for that much of an urban environment. Yeah. I mean, I know we talked about making some more Heroes Against the Red Star modules with modding units based off a World of Already 5. My problem with that is the customers get very confused with what you are, is it World of Already 5 or is it Lock and Load Tactical? Is it the same thing? And it was even worse before because the company was the same name as the game. And so it literally took me like a year to get everyone out of that. Raid on Entebbe, that would be nice.
Well, see, Raid on Entebbe would be great, but it would be a very
short. It would be a one scenario.
Incredibly short. So it would have to be part of a multitude of scenarios, maybe something to do with the African continent and things that were going on there, or modern raids or something like Findle was bringing up about modern commando raids. It would be, you could do like kind of a group of them in one module, which would encompass multiple nations, which means a lot of counters. But the other thing is, we've talked about this before, kind of, I think it would be kind of neat to do special operators, that sort of thing, but they'd have to be handled differently in tactical, because so much work with operators really works. It really, it is so dependent on teamwork and going on hacks and things like that. So where you get 2 teams or 3 teams in position, and then you basically all hit at the same time. So you have to come up with new mechanics for that to work with Lock and Load Tactical, I think.
What about like Heroes of the RAF or the Battle of Britain or something? Incorporate.
We're going to make it flying now?
Well, I'm just putting it out there.
Well, we did talk a while back about doing a Battle of Britain game.
Yeah.
You have the German paratroopers for the most part, and then some Marines and troops fighting on British soil.
So you're talking about the Sea Lion.
Sea Lion.
Yeah. So we talked about that. Again, we have talked about a lot of stuff. It's a matter of someone bring us, one of you guys or Jeff or whoever brings us something, and then we turn around and say, okay, we can do this. Okay. Because again, if you the reason everyone likes Lock and Load a lot is because the module rules do not add 80 pages of complications, but it gives you a nice feel for wherever you're fighting, be it the desert, be it on the Eastern Front, be it Normandy. So you really have to, make sure, well, what are going to be the special rules? Are we going to have a whole new section on paratroop dropping, so you can do the Germans landing in Europe? Landing in England. What about beach assaults? Do we care about that? I mean, there's a lot of things to come up with before we just But someone asked, why squares for an urban fight? The squares are much more
manageable on the map.
It's not. No, it's not really manageable because the hexagon grid is a hexagon grid.
Yeah, but with a hex grid, you're going to have hexes. You're going to have multiple facings in the street when there's really just 4 angles. You could take upper and stuff too, but it's easier to move your little counters up and down a street that way, and inside of a building that way. You don't have hexes on a building. Squares just work better.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm boring, Dave.
I have to play Day of Heroes, and I think that would really show you why it works so well. The squares. I mean, it just was great.
Does Lock and Load, Dave? Do you have any inclination on going ancients or medieval warfare and stuff like that? Now that you have a lot of time on your hands because everything's done.
All right. Oh, Dan fell out. What the hell happened?
Oh no!
Technology.
Guess he's got a lot of time on his hands now.
Okay, and this is how the god of the podcast takes those type of questions.
Guess he went under the radar.
Yeah. Well, he is falling off. Okay. No. Listen, my company, my personal policy is you need one of the 3 ends to make money doing this: NATO, nukes, and Nazis. Okay. And you can say sometimes zombies, but that changes whatever the new horror thing is. So it's vampires or it's zombies or whatever it might be the thing. A good castle game, a good, whatever, medieval game and all that is acceptable on one.
Nazi zombie module for
I will not do that.
all the World War II stuff.
See, guys, I'm a good dad. I'm letting him borrow my Challenger.
Don't do it.
Actually, I was at WBC a couple of years back, and a certain same son, wanted to borrow my car because his tire was flat. And I said, sure, no problem. A couple of hours later, I get a phone call. Don't answer it. Get 2 more phone calls. And then my wife calls. So I know something's up. And some other kid was on his phone and rammed into the back of my Challenger, totaled the car.
I just want to point out that I was stopped in traffic and there was no human way possible it was my fault. Just throwing that out there.
Here you go.
So, don't do it again.
Yeah. Well, no. If you're going to do it, just make sure make sure
that car was totaled, but he got a 2-year newer model from it. So, actually benefited him.
Dave, come on.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that's one that we've talked about, Corey.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit.
No, not about the car. About Heroes of the Legion, about the French Foreign Legion. That would be one that would allow you to kind of toy around with a bunch of different scenarios.
I do know we did talk about doing a World War I version. We won't do a World War I version of Lock and Load Tactical. It's just
Heroes of the Trench.
Yeah, the tactics were not the same. I mean, it's like people who try to make tactical games out of the Civil War. They didn't fight.
Well, they did, but it would just be a totally different pacing. So I don't think it would be as engaging.
Yeah, I don't.
It's probably why I don't really play a lot of things prior to World War II, because the pacing just is not there for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So Darren comes on. He gets on the phone. He's not even talking to us.
Yeah, really. I mean,
is he listening? Is he listening? Yeah, he's listening.
Yeah,
what the heck are you doing?
What I think he's letting everyone know he's really Santa.
Hey, Darren, I have a question for you, even though you can't answer me there.
He's like a James Bond villain.
Being so tall and the air being thin up there, does it affect your brains?
I will say it affects his memory. I don't know about the brains part. He seems pretty cold, but the memory, it's really bad.
Up there, man. You know what I'm saying?
He's doing a little tribute to you, though, the way he's sitting there, it looks like.
You know what it looks like? He looks like we have our own version of
Dan.
What's that guy's comedian show? The comedian, he did like a James Bond spoof.
Oh, Mini Me.
Mini Me. That's who.
Oh yeah.
Like Darren's gonna be Mini Me.
Well, he only fits up the ankles then. So there you go.
It'll be Biggie Me. Call him Biggie Me.
I'm gonna punch him right in the ankle.
And then
I'm not sure if Dan might be coming over here tonight. I don't know if he is or isn't.
Who, me?
No, Darren.
Oh,
Oh, Darren is coming over tonight. Okay.
well, I could come over too.
You're not going to get here in time. You're going to be too short. Oops.
well, aside from Lock and Load Tactical, which everyone's throwing out a lot of great ideas, what other things could we talk about for 2020?
Here's the other thing we have. Just so you know, guys, we have the Battles on Demand line. Now, the object of Battles on Demand was we wanted to make a game system that kept things small so people could buy them as a PDF. So, if they're over in England or Europe and, they didn't want to pay all the shipping, they can still download a new game and get it. Okay. Well, all those games were made with laser counters, but you guys, and I thank you, did such a great job buying them that we couldn't keep up. So we made all counters for all these games now. And all these games now have the same quality counters that you see in Lock and Load Tactical or Nations at War or any of the other games we have. The 2mm stick, the rounded edges, and nice, clear. So if you're looking for French Indian War or possibility of doing castle storming, that's where we're going to put that type of game. Okay. I don't know what we have in there now. I'm going to take a little peek, but those games will all be back in stock when that stupid truck arrives.
On Friday.
Well, Thursday. They said Thursday, but I'm just saying Friday because I know better. All right. So if I go into Battles on Demand, okay. Okay. Now, some of you guys may not know this. Roy from War Diary, my opinion, one of the better war game magazines out there. He and I together and separately have been, buying certain designs. And the object is when you subscribe to War Diary, you'll be able to, I think it has to be a year or more, you'll be able to pick one game for free from the Battles on Demand series. Okay. Roy and I both agreed, and Darren, we talked about, a lot, and I'm not saying all guys, no one write me any hateful letters. A lot of the magazine games, on play tested well or poor design, or they were designed too fast. Again, not every game, but more than a lot of them. And so Roy didn't want to put games in the magazine. I didn't want to put games in a magazine. I thought it was a bad move. So what you see here is we have When Dixie Died, which is the Atlanta campaign. It's a combination Lock and Load Publishing War Diary. We have Victory or Death, which is the first battle of Trenton in 1776. Savage Wilderness is, I guess, the second volume in the Bloody Mohawk series. It's going to be its own game. It doesn't need the other game to play. There's Nuclear Winter 68. Again, I guess you'll throw that under what? Horror sci-fi?
Yeah.
Sci-fi.
Okay.
Alt history.
Yeah.
Alt reality.
There's Ab Israeli Wars. There's Raid and Riposte, Wake Island. I mean, these are games I don't think if you blew it up and did the whole thing, it would really just sell enough copies. But you guys really did sell quite a bit of them, buy quite a bit of them, which is why we have counters now. So you're going to be finding a lot more games going in there. On the store too, guys, we I throw another thing. We did add a book section, okay? And it either will send you to Amazon. So if you wanted a hardcover copy of Lock and Load Tactical or World at War 85, you can go there and it would send. And it says get it on Amazon. You can click on it and go there. But anything that we're printing now in-house, I think with the exception of the zombie books, right, guys? I think are now spiral bound.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing those spiral bound. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, the compendiums are now being spiral bound. So is the all the battle generators. Oh, Guys, if you bought the battle generator in the last, I'm going to say 2 weeks, check your books out. If you bought a hard copy, apparently there was some type of, every now and then their digital printers like to throw me a curveball. This time last year, we were printing all kinds of compendiums, and for reasons we have not repeated, it dropped all the R's. I don't know why they dropped all the R's. It just dropped all the R's. We had like 4 or 5 books, maybe 6 books that the customers got, and there were no R's anywhere in the book. This year, it decided to take the battle generator, and it pixelated a lot of the images, not on all the pages, just on a few, which we redid it, resaved it, reprinted it. It worked fine. Some of the books did come out fine, but we had one customer complain, so just anybody else, take a look. Okay. God Heroes of Normandy, Solo, Spyrobound, X-Maps. We Stand Alone for Christmas. All right, Danny. Okay, there's Darren's beautiful wife, Kendra.
That's his tech support. She's the smart one.
Yes. Okay. And
All right, we're going to try this mic thing again.
now your tech support is there.
Yeah, I told you.
I'll tell you why Kim is the smartest one. Because she's shorter.
I don't know.
Speak up, Dan.
It's hard to speak from down there. Love you, Dan.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like we're going to head your way, Dave. So.
All right. Let me just tell my wife you're coming because I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her anything.
Just make sure those brownies are ready.
Oh, they're ready. I don't know if they're still here, but they're ready.
Wait a minute. This is
They're
Colorado.
Colorado, so
What kind of brownies are they?
Not those kind of brownies.
Well, you can't say that. You haven't tried them yet.
They better not be those kind of brownies. I'm driving your truck.
couple brownies.
Hey, Dave, I'm
I
on
think there's a bomb getting ready to go off.
the website.
What was
And
that?
I want to get to the MP3 lock and load tactical core rule.
If you go to the store site, go to resources.
All right, see y'all guys later.
All right. When you go to the core rules, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. When you get to the website, go to resources, and then on the left side, click on Lock and Load Tactical, and then all the resources for that game will be there. You're going to find core rules, MP3s, everything else.
Wow. That's awesome. Look, for a guy like me who, as a musician, everything goes in my ears, obviously. This is fantastic.
But like I said, we want to make the rules as easy to understand in small doses, so you don't have to do like a cult following when you're reading 18 hours straight, so you can memorize it. And that's what it is. The videos are there. The links to the videos are there. The links to Amazon if you want hardcover copies are there. I mean, it's all there.
Who's the narrator?
I don't remember. I know one guy. He did an okay job. He did, I think it could be better. If it does well and people really like it, I'm going to go. The guy who did the what is it? Army of Two, and he did another book for it. Oh, he did Space Infantry. I really like his pronunciations of stuff, and it's just the way he speaks when you're listening to him.
Okay, like you told me where to go, and I can only get the PDF here.
Okay, hold on. Let me help you there, buddy. You go to resources, okay? Now on the left side, you see it says general, board game resources, digital game resources.
Yeah.
Okay, go click on board game. The first one in the board game says Lock and Load Tactical Series. Click on that.
Oh, hold on. Okay, right. Gotcha.
Okay, and now when you click on Lock and Load Tactical, you'll see that the first one up there is Lock and Load Tactical Bootcamp Training Videos. The next thing is Lock and Load Tactical Audible and hardcover editions from Amazon. Next one is the Core Rules edition, audiobook edition. Then it's MP3, then it's EPUB, and so it goes.
Capiche. Thank you very much.
And if you wanted Nations at War, you just click on Nations at War, and same thing.
And this is free of charge, just like that.
Just like that.
Well, how do you make money?
I sell games.
And brownies, apparently.
Well, like I said, the object is this, guys. If I can get people to play the games, I mean, listen, it's nice to learn a new game, but, you know, I won't mention any names so I don't get in trouble, but, you know, if you take a game and all you can do is play that one game because all you're doing is reading the rulebook constantly trying to get yourself in there. I mean, if that's all you want to play, I believe some of those gamers are not really war gamers. They're that game series gamers.
Well, those types of games are really, I mean, the term is used all the time as lifestyle game because you really have to commit to it. It's like 18xx or anything like that. You don't play those casually. You really have to study them and, you know, kind of immerse yourself fully. You have to commit to them to really get into it.
But that is it a game then, or you're playing a system?
Whatever you're enjoying. I mean, anything's
The
a game.
the joke is it's a lifestyle game. You know,
Yeah.
You know what? If you're having fun, that's already counts. Who gives a
Yeah.
crap what anyone else thinks?
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, it's what I like about Lock and Load Tactical is you can jump in and play it. And once you get the rules down, you know, people's biggest problem is to learn line of sight and why can't I see the counter but I can't shoot at it? Well, with the walkthrough we give you now, with the rule book, with all of its examples of plays and cleaning up all the rules.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, you know, saying you brought up about how come I can see the counter, but I can't shoot at it because my guy can't see it because of spotting. That was something, somebody I know that plays games, they got very, very hung up on spotting to the point where he's like, I can't do anything. I'm trying to spot this thing and I can't. I said, stop trying to spot it.
Yeah.
Move. They'll shoot at you.
Then you'll be able to see them.
You know, I mean, that's the way the game is played. I mean, you can't just. Could you imagine? I even said to him, "Could you imagine what a battle would be like if you sat there and all you did was try to spot where the other guy was? He tried to spot where you were. You'd have World War I, because it would just be literally just be static. There'd be no, you know, dynamism to the game. There'd be no movement, and that's the whole thing about a tactical situation is it's unknown. You're moving, yeah, you're looking, but it's really. You're not going to put that as much effort into it. Now, modern times, it's a lot different because you have ISR overhead and stuff like that. But now when, you know, ground truth is the only way to see. Back in World War II and prior to modern stuff, you really had to go out there and get shot at, and then you knew where they're at.
If you survived.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously a key, but, you know, you're not talking about individual counters here. You're talking about squads. So you may lose a guy or they may get, shaken or something like that, but you're not going to have to worry about, you can't worry about everybody all the time. I mean, obviously you want to try to do that, but you can't because you're going to lose. There's going to be losses throughout the engagement.
Yeah, that's true. Well, like I said, that is the whole thing. My whole thing is, why did we put it? I mean, Al Davis did the index for all three of the series games. He did World at War 85, Nations at War, and Lock and Load Tactical. And man, that index is great. Honestly, I mean, and he talked to me, but we haven't done it yet. Is making an index for all of the module rules, and something's not right with that guy. I don't know why he would want to do that. That's a hell of a lot of work.
So Dave, these the rule set in MP3. Obviously, it's only in English right now, right?
If you can't understand it, the answer is no. Yeah, it's only in English.
Well,
I would have to find someone to record it.
I know a guy who speaks Italian and French fluently, and he's not too expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. As long as he's not too tall in the prices.
I think he'll come in under budget.
Under budget.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
You guys.
There won't be a shortfall on that one, I'll tell you that.
There you go. There you go. Hey.
I really want to see how people like the idea. Like I said, I thought Keith and I first talked about it, and it was just like, he says, "Yeah, I'm with you," because I don't know how that would work. I said, "Yeah, neither am I." I said, "Well, let's try it then." And then, we went ahead and made the audiobooks.
I don't understand how you cannot like it.
Give you an example. Let's take this for an example. What's the very first thing? We took a lot of time to organize this rule book, and all of our rule books will try to follow this thing. First thing we're going to tell you is how to read the rule book, which is a page. Hey, if it's blue, it means this. If it's red, it means that. The next thing you need to know is the counters. Okay, some games teach you how to win. How can I win when I don't know what the hell I'm doing? So now let's take the audiobook now. Okay, we'll take World at War 85. There's 3 numbers in the top, 3 numbers in the top left, top right, some numbers sometimes in the center, bottom left, bottom right, and bottom center. Okay, so I guess you could really explain, well, the top left, first number on the left, that is your blah, blah, blah number. And then this one is, how do you keep all that in your head? It's hard to keep it in your head when you're looking at the damn book. So I don't think that comes across well. But at the same token, if you are talking about line of sight and the person's explaining how you can't see the hex behind the forest because unless you're on a hill or whatever the rule is, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. And listening to it as you're on the bus going to work, you're putting the time to good use.
Yep.
So I do think that helps. I mean, it's like the walkthrough. I think there's 40 pages that Jeff wrote for the Lock and Load Tactical walkthrough. And he just basically took the walkthrough as if you were sitting next to him and how he would explain the game to you so you can learn how to play the game if you're sitting with your buddy. That I believe, because you're explaining it as you're talking to somebody, is great for an audio representation. Now,
well, I don't think someone's going to just download the rules, the audio rules, and not have the rule book with them. They're going to have the rule book with them.
No, but it's not the videos. Anything besides the actual rule book, the paper rule book, let's say.
Yeah,
it's an aid to the rule book, is what I call it. It's made to enhance the rule book. Now, let me give you some statistics. 10 people have checked out the video since last night. Now, people have been going to this for months, so it's not like they don't know about it. 9 people have downloaded the audiobook already. This is Lock and Load Tactical. 14 people have downloaded the MP3, and 20 people have downloaded the EPUB version. And the actual, I've got to find the PDF edition. I know it's here. The PDF edition has been downloaded over 5,290 times. Okay. So, you can see the difference. But again, I only put all those things up last night, not the PDF. PDF's been up since we did it. But that's why the rulebook, guys, that's why the MP3, that's why the audiobook, the EPUB, all of it is free. Because the object is, I don't want you wasting your money if you don't like the game. How many games have we bought that they just suck or you didn't like them? This is to give you away, and that's why we have a starter kit. If you're really new to Lock and Load in the game, $15, you're really not tipping your toe in too deep. And we're not giving you, again, another game has a starter kit or whatever they call it. There's 4 games for their starter kit for a tactical series, and I think they're $40 a piece. Now, $40 times 4, figure it out. $15 times 1. It's a lot of money, and you're far from. But when you download our rulebook, that's the whole rulebook. I will say this because someone had asked me this. Are you going to keep including the rules in the games? Well, probably not. Okay, we're probably going to make it that the rule book you can buy if you buy the game at a big discount if you don't have one. But I mean, people complain. I got 8 copies of Lock and Load Tactical Core Rules, because they've bought 8 games. So we're probably going to take the rule book out, and people love the spiral bound rule book by a long shot because it folds flat. You're not forced, and that's the thing. You're never being forced to buy anything. You want to print it yourself and punch holes in it and put it into a binder, knock yourself out. You want to take it to Staples or print shop and have them print it and bind it, knock yourself out. And now with the EPUB, you don't even have to do that. You can just download it to your iPad. Someone asked me if we're going to do a MOBI, M-O-B-I. Are those one of those soft paperwhite ones?
That's just another ebook format.
It's a what?
It's an ebook format.
Okay, well, if it's a soft white ebook format, we cannot do it. And the reason we cannot do it is because they have to be what they call free-flowing imagery. And that means that the pictures can go anywhere and be enlarged and not enlarged. And you cannot make a rulebook where you're talking about line of sight here, and the picture that was here is now over there. Okay, so all of ours will only work on color readers, and they have to be forced in position. So iPads, Kindles work, but again, if they're soft white Kindles, it will not work.
So, Dave, how are you going to propose to not have any rule books, and which module are you going to choose to, like a starter kit module, and you get this big honking rule book, or your Heroes of Normandy comes with this big honking rule book and the rest don't? How are you going to do that?
Well, what we're going to do is the ones that there's no way I'm going to open up all those games that we have. So you're all going to get 4.1 rule books for the older modules. And again, there's nothing wrong with the 4.1 rule book. It's just not as clear, not as easy to find things. It's just not as good of a rule book. Okay, and that's why we updated it. If we want to make a new game tomorrow, Heroes of Fallujah, I don't plan to put a core rule book in there anymore. Okay, we're going to have a module rule book, which will tell them, here's the rule book. When you buy the game from us, you'll see an option. I mean, if you've been to our store, whenever you buy anything, any add-ons, we give you a discount for add-in.
Okay.
And again, you've got the videos. I mean, that rule book at 300 pages almost, I think it's 297. Don't quote me, but I'm almost sure that's the number. Okay, or 298. That rule book adds a lot of weight. So you're paying for a lot of shipping for something people already have most of the time. So if we don't allow you to do that, okay, or we don't put the rule book in there. Now, if you want the rule book, hey, maybe you get the rule book for $30. You get a savings, but you're not going to be buying 8 of them. I mean, I'll be surprised. You might buy 2 of them, one for you, one for your buddy. And the iPad, the iPad edition, the EPUB edition, all those other editions are free, including the videos.
Now, there are going to be some of the old crusty grogs that the old school guys that have to have a rule book with everything they purchase. The rules for Lock and Load Tactical are so prevalent out there on so many platforms that at this point, putting a rule book in is almost redundant. And like I said, it's gonna save on the value of the final price point of the game. It's gonna save on shipping. I've floated the question on the Discord channel. For the most part, it's kind of been a little bit about even, but when I start explaining to them, it's like, look, we're trying to make it a little bit cheaper on you, and everybody has got a device nowadays, just about. I mean, I've even got a device. So is there a reason to have a printed rule book in each module that we put out? I used to play the Advanced Tobruk system, and I've probably, you can see it over my shoulder over there, I've probably got 15, 20 different box sets or Ziplocs of ATS, and each one of them has a rule book in it. I don't need that many rule books. I'm sorry, I just don't. So, there are people that are going to complain, but I think most people are going to embrace the idea.
Well, the advantage of having the rule book in each module, like the old 4.1, is the fact that, portability, it's going to be in the box. It's going to be there. You don't have to worry about it. So when you take the game to the game store, your buddy's house, or wherever. You just open up the game, and inside you have all your counters, your maps, everything, including the rule book and the module book. So in that regard, it's still, valuable for people to keep, to hold on to. Just throw it in your library, and if you're going to be taking a game out, and you don't want to bring your big rule book, then you can take that, and then
the rule book's the same size. That's the whole killer. The 5.0 rules, whether you buy a spiral bound or came in a book, it's going to be the same pages.
No, I'm saying the size of the 4.1. If you wanted to just throw that in your box and leave it, you can still, if you know the rules well enough, you can use it.
What I've been told is nobody, once the 5.0 came out, that killed that rule book totally.
Yeah, I mean it's a combination of the fact that it's the latest and greatest, and everyone has, when their new rule book comes out, I think it's a mental thing that old rule book's bad. Even if it was just just say it was fixing 2 typos, that rule book's bad. It's no good. It's just kind of a mental thing for a lot of people. But the 4.1 rule book is still valid as far as leaving it in your box.
There's no reason to get rid of it, and it definitely you don't need 5.0 rules to play. Obviously, looking at you so at 4.1. Like I said, I just want the motto to be play the game, not the rules. If you can sit down, read the rules, play the game, and only reference it occasionally when you forgot something. I mean, that's why we have all those charts and tables are there. It's so you don't have to go back and find, hey, to do morale check, you do blah blah blah, and it's the high low whatever, and you're on.
Yeah.
And that's the main point there. That is definitely the main point of what we're trying to do there. And it's also the whole rewrite. I mean, the whole rewrite of the Nations at War rules was. I'm going to be honest, guys. I was embarrassed how I felt those rules got past us. Now, granted, we were doing 27 games for the restocking of the company. But that rule book had a lot of issues. I didn't notice, and Sean didn't notice, because we're looking to make sure that there's 5 tanks in the game. There are 5 tanks in that scenario, and unfortunately, a lot got missed.
Well, like you said, there was 27 games that came out, and I remember sitting down with Stalin's Triumph, when I first got it, and I was like, I started texting you going, hey, is this supposed to be like this? Is that? And you're like, what? And I texted you an image, and you're like, oh, hold on. And next thing you know, is 2 seconds later, phone's ringing. Whoa, what did you find? And then we were discussing it, and then but that happens. And the thing to bear in mind, this kind of goes into a comment that was made on a video I just did of Nevsky, the unboxing from Volkarunka, and they had put an errata sheet on the outside because there was a missed thing, like it was supposed to be ×1 instead of ×2 on a player aid card. The thing to keep in mind is people work on war games a lot in their spare time, and it's not like everyone does this full time. So there's everyone's doing what they can when they can. With that said, war games are probably the most complex game that there is, just for the simple fact that you're looking at 30, 40, 50, even more pages of rules and supporting text, player aid cards, maps, counters, you name it. There's a ton of stuff. You take a Euro and you put a war game next to each other and you compare components as far as like needing to check for accuracy. A hobby game is nowhere near that. It's just not going to be near that. Very, very rare instances would it be. A war game, it's far more complex. So the odds of errata from anyone are going to be higher. It's just the way it is because there's so many moving parts to it. And there's a point where you just have to say, you know what? It has to be, you need to get it out on the market. Otherwise, if you sit there and you try to make something perfect, 100% perfect, every time you make a change, there's going to be ripple effects. You'll be designing that game for 30 or 40 years and you'll still have errata, I guarantee it.
I hear what you're saying. I just feel, listen, you're asking people for money.
Sure.
For money.
Oh, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that.
I mean, I don't
mind where it happens.
I don't mind clarification of rules because everyone understands differently. Or the way I say to you, you may get it, but Devin may not, or vice versa, and that's fine. Clarifications I get, but things like a lot of things we didn't expect when we were doing the Nation at War game. For whatever reason, the old owner made the numbers different from game to game for the same unit. So a Tiger tank was not a Tiger tank in all the games. I'm going to be honest. I don't understand why you would do that, and I didn't look for that. Sean didn't look for that, and we missed it. And so that was, that's part of the reason for some of the counter corrections, because we were shocked when we found out about it. And I normally would never make an upgrade kit, to be quite honest with you. The only reason I did was because people have already invested in the game. It's a good game. If you like World at War, and you like World War II, you're definitely going to like Nations at War.
And the other thing too is everyone here knows this. You look at a game enough times, you look at the rules enough times, in your head, you know what it says. Right. On paper, it may not have exactly that wording. And it's kind of a bias that you go in with when you're looking at a rule book or something. You're like, yeah, I know how this is supposed to be. And then you look at it and someone else, a third party, looks in and says, wait a minute, it's missing all the R's or something, something like that. And you go, oh crap, your mind fills in the blanks when you know what it is you're working on. So those are the only reason I'm saying it is just, I'm not saying it's okay to have mistakes, just to put in perspective so people understand the process a little bit more, and then they can say, oh, now I see where there could be mistakes and how those happen.
Well, I think the thing that people understand the least of is shipping, printing and shipping.
Yeah.
I understand why people get upset
but I want it here now.
You should have been here in August.
I personally think, and guys listening online, you think I'm wrong or you think I'm right, let me know, because I don't know any company doing a Kickstarter that has given as many updates. And I'm not talking about the multi-million-dollar miniature game. I'm talking about war games, okay, where we're showing maps of where the ships are, providing tracking. We're not BSing you and saying, yeah, the game's on the ship, and it's still being printed. We didn't do any of that. We gave the deadline based on what we thought was doable based on the printer. And, they're across the globe. There's really not much. Flying to China, I don't think was really going to improve the situation at all. But it really is, once you give them the artwork and you move out, there's not much more you can do besides wait for, copies. And even the shipping company has people in China, and she can't even get information all the time. But I'm going to, I think going forward, we're going to be able to, I'm going to definitely extend the timeout regardless. And if I'm early, it'll just make me look like a hero. And if close to on time, people will be thrilled. And the one thing I have learned about shipping games, because of the last 27 games, is as long as the game is good and people are happy with the quality, which is the one thing Lock and Load, at least since I've taken over, has done a really great job, in my opinion, and the public, from what I've heard, is the quality of the games. And that's, I really think, what counts, because who wants to play a counter sheet that you do this to and it flaps because, like a fan, because it's so thin.
I remember that.
Yes, I do.
There's so many jokes there, Dan. I'm not even going to.
I know. And And the thing is, being on the net, I'm learning so much how to try to shut my mouth. It's so difficult.
Oh, you mean keeping your mouth shut? Not responding? Yeah.
I have to stop now.
Nah, Darren still got your beat for doing that, buddy.
So here's a question for everybody in the chat. So what is your favorite Lock and Load game this year, or moment this year? Everyone's saying that not you, Dan. Everyone's over here saying that they really enjoy the updates and the games and stuff. Well, share some of your great moments, great games this year that you've had, being it, or even this decade. If you got a really cool short little snippet that you can share with us of a game that you played and you got a little story, share it.
Just one time at band camp? No.
Not those. Well, I can give you an idea, a little snippet. I was playing Heroes Against Red Star, and I made this little story up in my head because this Soviet team was going across the road to get into this building, and they got chewed up by a U.S. machine gun team. Just got chewed up. Well, the way it played out, the one guy, they get just half of them get destroyed. A hero gets created, and the hero he ends up leading the guys into the building and just like housing everybody in the building, just totally destroyed it. So I made this little AAR and I kind of shared it online, and I said how Private Yevgeny sees half his squad get destroyed, and he gets pissed off at the imperialist Yankee dogs, and he rallies his troops and goes in and wipes them out for the hero of the Rodinia. I mean, for the glory of the Rodinia and stuff like that. And I just posted. I was posting on Twitter. It was like a Friday night fight thing that I did. People were like, "This is great. This is so much fun." And I was just doing it with little pictures and stuff, and it was just a quick little snippet. But it's great how you can kind of play it out in the theater of your mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's actually part of the reason why we're doing the books now. I mean, the books was to take it a step further to, keep it, give you more than just gameplay. To give you gameplay, but also give you a story to read or battles to focus on. So, I mean, I guess for me, I would say as a honestly, I like how well as a core team we seem to be functioning pretty darn well. I guess for me, the thing that I really enjoy that we hadn't done before is publishing the books.
Yeah,
I like listening to the stories. I like the fact that we found another groove possibly to entertain our customers.
I think it just makes the whole thing way more immersive. I love the it's personal, man. It's really, you're invested into that shit. I know, Mo, you once said it's just a shit. Shut up and go and get killed. Who cares? It's just a shit.
No, it's the way you said. You get invested in that shit. It's like, did you say a bad word or no?
No, I like
funny shit. Let me say,
it's personal, man. I really invested into that scenario, man, and it creates such a great narrative. The book, the this, the that, the pizza that comes after, the great story.
Well, that's the Italian module that you're talking about doing, where you're going to have the pizza, the pasta, the water to make the pasta, and all that stuff.
I'm just saying.
Well, no, I agree with you on, when it comes to the counters, like personalizing them. When it comes to a tactical game, I do. When it comes to anything above that, I just go, it's just a counter. I mean, not that I blow it off. I don't want to lose guys. I don't want to lose power, but tactical makes it more personal, and it because it's really more immediate. When you have divisions out there, it's like, okay, I lost half strength now on this, or I lost a step, and it's a 4-step unit. It's a lot more abstracted, but when you see the little guys on the counter and you're kind of saying, well, I'm the ground commander, I'm the guy on the ground, I'm the guy getting shot at too, and I'm trying to order these guys around, it does make it feel a little more personal, and that's when you do get a little more tied into it.
I mean, and listening to the books is just for me, it's just such a bonus. I really enjoy it. I really do, man.
No, it's a lot of fun.
And that's why I play games, to have fun.
Well, you're the first one. Someone's asked me about the Battle Command series, which is Mike Rinaldi's games. I guess they were originally published with Worthington. Almost, one of them, the counters are done. Blackwell's on vacation. When he comes back, we're going to have all 4 of those come out. They'll be part of the Battles on Demand series, just so you know. So, and I know Mo's working on he's just confirming the orders of battles for Trial of Strength. And just so you know, someone asked me about the Kickstarters. Here's what we think we have going on. And we're going to do them pretty much back to back. So I'm going to say this up front, but it's subject to change. But we expect it to be Trial of Strength next out the door. We're hoping January, followed by either Point Blank, the card game, or by Blood and Fury, which will be Volume 2 of the World at War 85 series. And all right, so that's pretty much losing my team. Look at this. There we go.
Where'd they go?
They said they'd be right. I think they're both coughing. Okay. They're out trying to outdo each other, coughing to death.
So yeah, Mark, thanks for reminding me about that F-111 strike. Appreciate it, brother.
Well, let's put it this way: that won't happen again next year.
Oh, don't count on it. Don't count on it. Yeah. I keep telling people I'm not a clever man. I open myself up for things like that, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But yeah.
All right. Well, Darren should be over here any minute, so I'm probably going to have to go. What else do we have, Darren, on the to-do list?
Well, just the stuff you and I have talked about, the behind-the-scenes stuff that we've talked about. Trying to think what else.
Oh, Dan's waving. There he is. Okay.
You know, I just came back from the thinking room.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
And it dawned on me.
You could just use the Pepsi bottle.
You know, GMT has, and this is not a bad word, some Euro games, and I think a DVG has some Euro games. What about some Euro games, David Heath?
What's a Euro game?
Yeah, really.
Coffee game.
Euro games. Hold on 1 second, guys. This is Dan. Hey, Dan, what's up, buddy?
I like the 24 ringtone.
Hold on, I'll get you in. Hold on, guys. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
All righty.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Euro and Mirror style games. I play a bunch of them, and some of them are some of my favorite games. And you would not think Terraforming Mars, okay, that kind of goes along with kind of like Who and What I Am about colony management and building civilizations up. I'm big into the Civ games as well.
Is that a good game?
Oh, it's a wonderful game. You got to get the expansions to it, though. Each expansion has just made the game that much better. I've probably played the game 15 times, and I still haven't seen all the cards in the game yet. I mean, it comes with a wealth of stuff. I got a buddy of mine who's got a 3D printer, and he's actually printed out all the terrain tiles.
Nice.
So it just the game board, once we start putting down the cities and the oceans and the forest, it just pops and comes alive. But yeah, Terraforming Mars is one of my favorite games out there right now. Wingspan's a wonderful game. It's a game about birds.
Yeah.
Birds. I love that game, and there's a whole bunch of others.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with liking Euro or America style games.
You know,
the only drawback to Euro games for a wargamer, you need more than one person. That's the only drawback. For most Euro games, like war games, the biggest benefit for a wargamer is the fact that you could play any game just about solitaire. And that's the biggest hurdle for a lot of Euro hobby, as I call hobby gamers, to understand is where's the fun in that? How can you play it again? It's like, because you can play it both sides, honestly, and you literally get this. So you get to have two games in one, because you can play as the Americans here and then the Germans over here, or vice versa, or whatever. And you get to enjoy the experience of playing it both sides. And at first you're like, but I want to win. I don't want to lose. And so you kind of have to get over cheating against yourself. It's like, no, let the narrative unfold. Just let it happen. And you're like, wow. Then you can't play games any other way after a while. You start getting used to that.
You know, I once interviewed Dean Essig with the 4 questions thing. And I had to ask him, I mean, you can't get more grognard than that. And I said, did you ever play a Euro game? And his answer was, he's seen one from afar. Okay.
Well, I mean, there's another good one that is very, simple, a lot of fun, and my wife likes it. There's Darren.
There's Darren. He's over here now.
Now we can actually talk online without having problems and not needing tech support.
Okay, now we can tell Darren.
Okay, now we're going to get him out of his chair. No, not going to get him out of his chair.
I had the YouTube thing up, and I had the stream channel, our stream studio up at the same time. That's why the feedback was happening.
Yep, that's what I said. Do you have them both open at the same time? Yeah. Someone's picking up the hardcover book, but we're talking Euros.
Patrick, say hi, Patrick. Come on, say hi. Come on.
He's home for Christmas from college.
That's why I came in here.
Oh,
Right.
there's Patrick.
Hey,
Oh.
Patrick, what's up, man?
I got something to say to you, Pat.
Oh, what?
Nothing.
All right.
Well, that was short and pointless.
Yes.
Okay, is that
Short to the point.
Really mad at me over the little yay I gave on his little intro.
Now we got the whole crowd here. We got my wife. We have Kendra. Dogs here now.
Now that you have everybody there, you're going to have to do a No Enemies Here intro with everybody.
Yeah. That's true.
Now with Patrick.
Going back to the Euros for a second, one of the games that my wife likes to play is Viticulture, which is a fairly easy game, and it's, you know, kind of neat, kind of relaxing, and it's about wine, which I don't drink, but my wife likes wine, and, you know, it's just a really nice presentation and stuff. So there are many Euros out there that are really great, and I'm not a fan of some war gamers that like to knock Euros or knock anything but war games. It's like, yeah, there's no point to that, and it's just like the other way around. Why do Euro gamers, you know, any Euro gamers that knock war games? It's like, you know what? There's a game for everybody out there. There's so many out there. Let's all enjoy them and let's support each other. And on top of that, we're seeing a lot more Euro gamers interested in war games. Thankfully, you know, now due to a lot of the crossover in a lot of mechanisms and a lot of the games. So that's great. And that person who plays a Wuro, as a lot of people like to call them, the coin games and things like that, will eventually, you know, not all, but some of them, a good deal of them, will probably switch over to Hex and Counter and try them out and then say, hey, these are actually pretty cool. Pregnant pause.
Devin, a game that I really enjoyed and I thought the mechanics were just genius, was a game by Freedom and Freeze called Power Grid.
Yes.
And I just thought, like, how far thinking ahead? Like, how do you create that? You auction, oil is cheap, so you're going to want to buy oil.
But as soon as you buy oil, the price is going to go up because the demand is now up and there's less of it.
And I found that genius, man, because the guy who nobody knows who's going to win till the end, because you can really shaft a guy who bought oil and you just buy all the oil right off him because it's your first, and he can't power his houses. And
yeah, but then you know, if you did something like that, you'd not be able to do other things because you went all in on one thing. And that's the thing that I both like and kind of dislike about Euros, is what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Very much a puzzle. And some people like puzzles. And to me, after when I play a game, then I'm like, oh, this is like a puzzle. I tend to feel that puzzles have very limited freedom. You know, it's like you need to go down this path, or this path to win the game. And if you can't go down that path because somebody blocks you because they see you going down it, well, then you better try to get on 2 or 3. Some games only have maybe 1 or 2 paths, but it's just not as engaging to me. Whereas war games are kind of just action reaction constantly.
It's a different animal, completely different animal.
Yeah, and that's where the appeal is for war games, more for me than it is for like the Euro hobby games. Although the hobby games are great, especially the lighter ones are great for like parties and things like that. You know, you get together with a bunch of people, have some fun. It's not really difficult rules overhead. You can introduce non-war game or non-gamers to games.
And it's funny, eh? I want my girlfriend to play games so much. I'd love her to play a war game, but that's a bad word here. And I got Conquest of Paradise, right? From GMT. Conquest of Paradise, where you do the hula and you eat poi and you just
All right.
you do stuff. You know?
All heard the lady. That's Darren. Okay. The really pretty woman back there waving. That's my wife, Ava, for those who care.
Hi, Ava.
And this Kendra, that's Darren's wife.
Hey, Kendra.
We call her Darren's tech support.
Yes. The brains of the operation.
The brains of
Exactly. That's why nothing ever gets done.
You know, I was saying something.
What? Really?
He was being brief. Don't worry.
It was too low. The volume was too low.
Came up a little short.
So,
He's over there sipping on his hot toddy. Are you? Is that a hot toddy?
It's close to a hot toddy.
So it's tea. It's not hot.
But you know what? You know, we just tried out this new tea. spruce branches, mushrooms, and I don't know what.
The hell are you drinking?
But the spruce dries out all your throat, and so yeah. Anyways, the medic.
Tea. Oh, you got the tea. You just throw in a little honey, throw in a little bourbon. You're good to go.
Yeah. All right, then. So it's a party at the Heath's house, eh?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna let you guys go. It's 2 hours. So much for my hour.
We haven't hit the mark yet on that. I would like to point that out. I just want to say.
But it's funny, David. Now you got a lot of time on your hands. You can even have a party.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? When am I gonna get my games?
Oh, games, they get there when they get there.
Well,
Every time you ask, he puts you at the bottom of the list.
Yes.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Hey, just so you guys know, the next video that we'll have will be at the warehouse, featuring Darren yelling at our young staff as we unload the truck. And
that's like every day, though.
Yeah, but it's going to be special.
Oh, there you go. Darren's not even listening over there.
I'm listening. I'm going to invent whole new words just for this.
We like to call them Texas swear words.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And he uses Snyder math.
Yes.
There you go. All you got to do is throw a y'all in between anything, and it's Texas speak right away. You know.
Right, guys, so I'm
Got to go full Jersey though. Then you go.
Start waving.
Well, that is all you have for this episode. Keep gaming, and may God bless you and keep you until next time. On the air is a Lock and Load Publishing production.
As Dan puts on the hat.